Well,
the Star
that's
Wars
a whole
movies.
nother matter. All right, let's talk to Nick Sirianni. He's probably not watching Star Wars this week. He's getting ready for the Chiefs. He's getting ready for Super Bowl 59. He's done a masterful job this year. We welcome and congratulate the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. Nick, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Great, Coach.
Good, Nick. Nick, congratulations to you. I mean, major, massive congratulations. How do you feel?
Yeah, excited, obviously, to be back in this spot. But it doesn't last long. I wish the wins would last a little bit longer. But we got home that night, we watched and see who we were going to play, and then had some fun with the family, and then it's right back to here we go. Let's watch some tape on the Chiefs, and so feel good. But we felt good on Sunday. Now it's just back to business as usual.
Yeah, as it should be. And Nick, I totally respect that, of course. And I know most of this interview will be that. But let's just go to Sunday night a little bit more. The locker room. Your text messages coming in from family and friends and old teammates and old coach. Like, what was Sunday from 6:30 to midnight like for you?
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool to be able to, to sit there and first and foremost, is celebrating with the players and the other coaches. That's always cool, and going around and just telling everybody how appreciative you are of them, and hey, we got one more game. Let's enjoy this and have one more game. And it was, to have, pictures with your family on the field, with confetti, kind of rolling down on you. That's cool. That's something. The kids playing catch, and my brother's playing catch with my kids, after the game on the field. All those things are memories that will always be there with you. And then, just again, like with the players, celebrating with the players, that's such a special moment, because you work so hard. You spend your lifetime to get there, and then this team spent the last many months, almost 9 months, to try to get there, and so that's special. That is special, and so that was a good night, and like I said, it doesn't last. They don't last long, because you're just always focused on what the next step is.
Nick, how important is it to get good work done in practice this week, because the atmosphere becomes a distraction in New Orleans?
Yeah. The stuff that we need to do this week is get a big chunk of the game plan done, and redefine it next week. But get a big chunk of it done, and install it, and have great practices here. These next, and I do think you can get good practices there. It's just different. It's just, you're taking a bus to practice as opposed to walking out on your practice field. You have media obligations beforehand. So there's a little bit, your day's chopped up a little bit different, but really this next week and a half is about how we get better, right? And that's been our goal each and every week. How do we get better this week? How do we get better this week to put ourselves in a position to be successful on Sunday? And that's the same message now. And so, we'll need to go out and have good practices, and and have good meetings and good walkthroughs, just like we've had, this entire season.
Nick, what did you learn in Super Bowl 57 that you can apply to Super Bowl 59 that will give the team a better chance to win?
Yeah, I think I think a lot of people will be like, "Hey, this is the rematch," and it is a rematch. But we're not. This is a completely different team, and they're a completely different team, right? There's elements and pieces that are the same, and so we're not thinking. You obviously will watch the game. You'll watch the game we played last year against Kansas City, in addition to all the film that you watch on them this year. But this is the 2024 season. When you go through, I'm not going to get into everything we're going to do, but when every time you go through a game, hey, we played in a Monday night game. What can we do better on our Monday night schedule? What can we do better? What did we do well? Well, that was the same process we took in 2022. Now, you lose the game in 22, and then you get back and you go through the same process. Win or lose, you go through the same process. What did we like? What did we not like? What can we do better? And so, that's from a scheduling, atmosphere type deal. Like the things, like you don't get to this point of the year and say, as a football point and go, hey, here's what we're going to do now, right? You go on, that the football part is different. That's consistent. The scheduling stuff and those things like that. We have a couple tweaks that we'll make and in attempts to get better from it.
Is this team tougher than last year's team? How do you teach toughness to a team?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it starts with having tough guys, right? And we have tough guys, right? And that's first and foremost. But you talk about, I think you get what you emphasize as a coach. And we constantly, we look at toughness in three parts. We look at mental toughness, we look at physical toughness, and we look at relentless effort, which is a form of toughness. And so you were constantly trying to point those things out. Hey, watch the physical toughness of this block combination to the linebacker, and we'll show that in the team meeting. Then we'll show something like, hey, look at this first drive of what happened. We went 3 and out in this first drive, but look how we responded. Look at this mental toughness of this team, or a defensive back gave up a play, and look how he responds with this PBU in a critical moment. That's mental toughness, and we're constantly showing our guys run with relentless effort to the football, or doing the selfless things with relentless effort. And so you just keep showing them over and over again. I think a quote that I heard was, the burden of leadership is repetition. Like, you just keep going over it and over it and over it and over it and over it. And like, coach, I can't do it. And you keep going over it and over it and over and over it. And you just keep doing that. And, but I think, you enhance that by what you do there. But at the end of the day, and at the start of the day, or however you want to say it, it starts with the players and their mentality and their mindset and their toughness, of that.
Nick Sirianni with us here, of course, getting ready for Super Bowl 59. Nick, you're officially listed as an underdog. Now, that could change, but it hasn't yet. Are you getting, some coaches use that as a rallying cry. Do you plan on using that as a rallying cry with your guys?
No, we don't care about that.
Nick, it's quite a change. I mean, it is sort of a departure. We've been the big bully for a while now. Do you welcome the fact that we're the underdog to some degree?
Nick, I expected you to say no, because I think you're very confident in your team, basically, and that's an external that just is irrelevant to you. That was my expectation of what you would answer. Is that a fair way to put it?
That's a fair way to put it. Yeah, we love our team. I think, though, too, like, you're going in there against a team that's won the last two Super Bowls. This is a heck of a football team that's won 15 games in the regular season, has phenomenal players all over the field, has one of the greatest coaches of all time on the opposite sideline, and I got so much respect for this team. And so, again, those are things that you can't control. And so, yes, we're confident in our team, and I love our team. But that's something you can't control, is being the underdog. Like, it is whatever that means. Like, we don't care about that. It's about controlling what we can control. Because if you start trying to control, not control, if you start thinking about those things that you can't control, where does that stop? And so it's, again, here's our process, here's what we need to do, and let's go out and do it.
Nick, one of the things about the game, you've controlled all year the line of scrimmage, and the tush push has been at just incredible advantage now for multiple years. What Kansas City did was very impressive against Josh Allen last game. I mean, it's force versus force. Does it concern you a bit that they appear to be ahead of the curve at stopping that? I mean, how in your mindset is that as you prepare for this game?
Yeah, you look at every time you go into a game. I don't think it's a secret. Teams are going to know that we're running that, and anytime you go into that, you look at all the tape. You watch every quarterback sneak that the defense has defended for the past couple of years. I mean, you don't stop it just this year. Like, hey, how is this coordinator plan to stop this for the past 2-3 years, right? 2, 3, 4 years. And so you look at all that, we'll look at the ones, and we've looked at the ones from the Buffalo game. They're obviously very good at it. So, we're really good at it too. Like, when you get into games like this, I mean, there's a lot of moments where it's like, it's as good on good. Sometimes you go into a game and you're like, hey, and you look at I don't know, maybe the turnover battle, and you say to yourself, hey, we got a big advantage here because we've taken care of the ball and they haven't. And you kind of go into that. But when you get into this, it seems like there's a lot of good on good. Hey, they're good at this, we're good at this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we got to play with fundamentals and technique, right? And I've said that from the very beginning. When player A is really good at is really good player, and player B is really good at is really good player. When coach is really good at, when the coach calls the right call and the other coach calls the right call, what gives in those scenarios? Well, it comes down to your detail and your fundamentals. And so that's going to be a big part of this game, is your detail and your fundamentals as you go through.
This Chiefs team, they've 17 consecutive wins in one-score games. Those details are part of what makes them so hard to beat. How do you overcome that, Coach?
Yeah, that's a very impressive stat. That means when they get into those moments, they find ways to win. You just continue to do the things that you've done. Like, I think our detail's been really good throughout the year. When we talk about detail, we talk a lot about, everyone being on the same page, and we talk a lot about situational football, and we talk a lot about fundamentals. And if you just go into fundamentals, like, at the end of the day, this game has some constants, right? It's about how you tackle. It's about how you block. It's about how you get off blocks. It's about how you take the football away. It's about how you protect the football. It's about how you catch the football. And so those details will always be constant in this game. The team that does that better, has a better chance to win. And we'll focus on our details all week. That's something we can control, and focus on those details all week, as I know they will as well. So, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there and execute and call a good game as coaches and get the guys ready to play.
Nick, obviously it's a unique situation as, your team and organization faces Andy Reid for the second time in a Super Bowl. I'm curious, some coaches talk to other coaches quite a bit. I'm sure you and Frank Reich when he was coaching the Colts. I mean, I'm just curious, how often do you and Andy cross paths, interact? Is it literally just when it's my team versus your team, or are there other times during a year where you guys have some kind of communication?
Again, I didn't ever coach for Andy, so
sure.
Maybe I hear I've gotten a text message from here and there after a win. I've given him a text message here and there after a win, but I didn't coach for him. He didn't. We don't have that history. I know he was here, and so you don't tend to share information or anything like that with guys that you don't know as well. So I have my my other mentors that I reach out to, and but man, looking at watching Coach Reid, and I got a lot of respect for everything that he's done. Obviously, he's one of the best. I would say him and Bill Belichick, best coaches of all time ever. As I look at it and as I study it, so a lot of respect there. I'd love to be able to talk to him about stuff, but this is the second time we're competing for a world championship. I don't know if either of us are willing to give any information to each other, or I don't know if I have any information to give him, but I know I get a lot from him. So no, just can't tell you how much respect I have for him, and just the his the way he leads a football team, his offensive mind, and just total respect of everything that he's done in his career.
Nick, do you feel like you've improved at motivating your team, your guys, and how do you consistently get this response, this emotional response from your players at the start of every game? They come out ready to play.
Yeah, I think you get better at everything if you're really working on everything, and you have and if you're realistic with yourself and say, hey, I need to get better here, and you always can get better, as you guys know. You're always looking for ways to get better. And so, my constant message to the team is how are we getting better this week, and that's always through toughness, detail, together is what we talk about a lot. And I guess if I'm asking them to do that, I better be getting better myself. And so, yeah, I think so. That's my goal, and that's my mission, is to always get better at that. I've spent a lot of time looking at different things, and these guys are self-motivated too. They really are. Like, these guys want this thing bad, and I'm telling them the truth of football. Again, hey, the toughest team's going to win, mental, physical, and who plays with great effort. Hey, the team that plays with great detail with their fundamentals and their their situational football and being on the same page is going to win. Hey, the closest team together is going to win. And so you just find different ways of saying that over and over and over again, and to motivate what you want the culture to be. But at the end of the day, it's not the words; it's your actions that get your culture. It's your habits and your actions. So, hopefully I've gotten better at that. That's always my goal. And again, at the end of the day, we're preaching the truths of football that were true when you played. Right, they were true when my dad played. They're going to be true when my sons play and when my grandsons play. So,
sure.
Which I don't have yet. So, but that's the truth of football. And I think that everyone, when they really look at it, the best teams they've been on have been tough. They've been detailed and they've been together.
Nick, if you win this game, I want you to know we are fully supportive of you taking the whole family to the podium. All right, just want you to know that. The kids, your wife, the parents, take them all. Take them all, Nick. Hey, Nick, let me tell you this. Again, congratulations on what you've done to this point. You know this, but I'll say it. The town is beyond psyched. And we here with our show, and obviously WIP is a station, and I know I speak for the entire region when I say we truly wish you the best of luck in Super Bowl 59. And I don't know how else to put it other than good luck, and God bless you in the game, Nick.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Thanks, Nick.
Nick, stay well. Have fun out there, and we'll talk to you. Take care, Nick.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, there he is, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni. James, I don't know what to say at the end other than good luck.
Yeah, just go win. Yeah,
go win. That'd
go
be a
win,
little
baby.
declarative. Like, Ruben, would that be go win, Nick?
Nick, go win.
I think that's probably his goal, too. So he's got it.
I would say so.
So you know what you sounded like there at the
What?
end when you didn't want to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Like when you're first dating somebody and you don't want to be the one to hang up.
Well, it's just it's funny. So
Great call.
it's funny. It's not how it felt to me, but I can understand how you would think that. I just didn't know how to land the plane.
I know it's
I don't
tough.
know.
That's a
Like,
hard one.
I don't know how to land the plane when it's the last time we're going to talk to the Eagles coach before he coaches in the Super Bowl.
like, do good, Nick.
Yeah.
You got it, buddy.
You know, you can't
Go
give him
get him, kid.
You can't give him a go get him. You know?